everybody. Welcome to Wednesday's Math. I'm so glad you're joining me for some math today. This week I am filming from school, which is super exciting. It's nice to be back in my classroom, though I miss you all a lot. All right, so before we get started, I just want to remind you that if you have any extra math time today that you want to spend, or next week, or even over the summer break, I invite you to work on those multiplication facts. Okay, that is my recommendation for you. It's going to make next year so much easier. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get started with our math. So which one is an array? So not an array. Array is the math thing where you do dots. Okay, it's not an array, it's a ray. I know. So a ray. Now a ray is a line that starts at one point and goes on indefinitely. So the way that we show that is a dot is where it starts, and this arrow means it goes on indefinitely. So it's B. This one is a line that goes on forever. This one, C, is called a line segment. It's only part of a line, but a ray starts here and goes on forever. All right, how many vertices? Now, vertices are the same as a corner. You might call them a corner. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 vertices, and those are the points where the lines meet, like a corner. Number 4, draw a line of symmetry. I'm going to let you do this. So a line of symmetry means that both sides of the shape, if I draw a line through them, both sides are exactly the same. So there are a couple lines of symmetry that you could pick for this particular shape. Number 5, circle the shapes that have 2 sets of parallel lines. So parallel lines are lines that run like a railroad track. They don't touch, they never get any closer together, and they never get any further apart. Okay, so the 2 shapes here that have parallel lines, well, this one here has parallel lines. This one has 2 sets of parallel lines. They go that way, they go this way. This one only has 1 set of parallel lines. You see how these are parallel? There's only 1 set of these parallel lines. This one has 0, and this one has 2. So there are 3 shapes that have 2 sets of parallel lines. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the time is 9 p.m. What time will it be in 15 minutes? So it's 9 o'clock at night. In 15 minutes, it will be 9:15. Which measuring tool would you use to weigh a person? So if you're going to weigh a person, what do you use? Do you use a scale? Do you use a ruler? Or do you use a calendar? Well, usually we'd use a scale. I don't think you could measure someone's weight with a ruler. All right. Number 3, find the perimeter and the area of the shaded shape. Now I'm going to let you do this. All you have to do to find the perimeter is count the shape, the lines around the outside of the shape. So that is the perimeter. The area is how many squares fit inside the shape. So you would count the square units. Number 4, and I'm going to let you do this because we've done enough examples of this that I think you can. So what I want you to do again for perimeter, you're going to count all the way around the outside of the shape. For area, you're going to count all of these, how many squares there are, okay? So perimeter is outside. Think the perimeter highway in Winnipeg or around Winnipeg. And the area is the squares inside. What time is it? So let's look. You should all be practicing reading time using an analog clock. This is called an analog clock. A digital clock would be like the clock on your phone. It uses digits to tell time. It does not have hands unless you set it to. So the clock on your device, on your computer, on your microwave, on your stove, any clock that reads out the time is a digital clock. This is an analog clock. We don't have as many analog clocks around these days as we did when I was younger. I encourage you, when you see an analog clock, to try and tell the time, okay? Practice that skill. So here's how you tell. Each one of these is 5 minutes when you count with the minute hand, but if you're counting with the small hand, which is the hour hand, it tells you the hour. So let's figure out the hour first. It's in between 3 and 4. It's not at 4 yet, so it's still 3. Okay, and then we have to count our minutes. So our minute hand is pointing to this 10. Let's count by 5s from 12 to find out how many minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's 3:50. And we don't know whether it's AM or PM, so we can just say 3:50. All right, now we have some word problem practice. I love some word problems. So it says, George is playing with marbles. He arranges his marbles into 4 groups of 8. How many marbles does he have? So let's think of how we would write 4 groups of 8. 4 groups of 8. It's 4 times 8. This little X means groups of. Anytime you see the X, it means you have groups of something. So 4 groups of 8. So what we're going to do here, do you remember our strategy for 4s? You can count by 4s, or you could double the double, which is a great strategy. So double the double. Let's try doubling the double. So 8, let's double 8. I'm just going to change colors so that you can see my work, okay? So I'm going to start with 8. Double 8 is 16. And then we're doubling the double, right? So now, double 16 if I double 16, okay, double 6 is 12, double 10 is 20, so it's 32. So first, I double 8, because anytime you have 4s, you double the double. So first, I doubled 8. I doubled 8, it was 16. Then I took that double, because 16 is double of 8, and I doubled it again. 16 plus 16 is 32. Okay, so whenever you see 4 times table, remember to do double the double. And we will be practicing this lots next year. Okay, now we are going to draw an array for this problem. So the problem was 4 times 8. George has 32 marbles, so I can write 32. We've doubled the double, we know it's 32. Next, I'm gonna have you draw an array for the problem, and I know that you can do this on your own. So please pause the video and draw an array for 4 times 8. Okay, and then you can press play to watch me model it for you. So pause the video to do an array for 4 times 8. Hopefully you paused the video and you did your array. So all I have to do is go, so I have 4 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I need 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I can just fill in each row. This is something that is awesome to practice, is making and labeling arrays. And that's a lot of my focus this week. So as we're getting ready to wind down our remote learning program, I'm thinking ahead to next year and all the things I'd love for you to practice before you go into your next grade. Making arrays and labeling arrays and working with multiplication facts is big, okay? It's something you're gonna need every year of your schooling and every year of your life, actually, from now on. So why not take this time to practice it? So let's write, every time I do an array, I like to write the fact family. So here's my fact family for this array. I'm gonna start with 4 times 8. 4 times 8. Okay, so I'm just writing out my fact family. I made a mistake. So I just, with my writing, it wasn't very clear, so I've rewritten it. So as I make my fact family, 4 times 8 is 32. 8 times 4 is 32. Now I'm going to move on to my division facts for this family. Okay, and I am going to do 32 divide by 4 is 8, and 32 divide by 8 is 4. Then for the foundation of my fact family, I always write repeated addition. So that is like the foundation. It's what the family is built on. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 32. And then 1 4, 2 4s, 3 4s, 4 4s, 5 4s, 6 4s, 7 4s, 8 4s. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equals 32. Okay, so that's your array. Now, the back of your page today, we are going to be working on this concept of arrays. So I have a table here. I'm going to do the first one with you. I want you to practice these facts, practice making arrays, and practice those related facts. So when you get to grade 4, you not only should know when you're in grade 4, we're not only going to be practicing our multiplication facts, but also our division facts. Start now, because you can totally get this. So all you're going to do is you're going to make your array first. So I'm going to start with 3 times 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then I could actually do 3 groups of 7. So let's make our first group of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, it does not matter which way you do your array. It could be, I could have done 3 and then done 7 this way, or I could just do 7 this way and do 3 of those groups. 3 times 7. And then last group of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I want my array to be in a pretty straight line, and I know that 3 times 7 is 21. You could find this out by doubling 7 and adding one more group. So double 7 is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Or you could count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 21. Fancy 21. All right, now we're going to do our related facts. So when you're doing your related facts, remember, I like to draw them in a house. You don't have to draw them in a house, but I'm going to do that to kind of drive home my point here. So I'm going to start up at the top with my multiplication fact. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, and then I'm going to try flipping that. 7 times 3, and we know with commutative property, it's still 21. Now I go to my division facts. So my division facts, I start with the 21, and then I divide it by 3. I will get 7. And you notice it's all the same numbers. We just mix up their order. Now, I can see that this pen, this purple pen, while the ink is drying, it's kind of shiny on the page, and it's hard for you to see. So hopefully I can fix my lighting here. I'm sorry. It does get easier to see as it dries. So 21 divided by 7 is 3. And hopefully once it dries, you can see it clearly. I'm just trying to do different colors. Now I'm going to do the foundation of our fact family for multiplication and division. Is always repeated addition. So I will do my repeated addition right now. 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 21. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 3 is also 21, a spiky 21. All right, I'm gonna do one more with you guys. So again, this column is all the arrays. This column is all of the related facts, the fact family, and this is the fact. So the one that I give you to start Then you draw your array, and then you make your fact family. You don't need to do the house. I just find it kind of helps with people when they're trying to understand it. So let's do this next one, and then I will leave you to do the last 4 all on your own. So 4 times 3, let's draw our array. 4 groups of 3. So I have 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, so I have 9, and 4 groups of 3, now I have 12. So I'm gonna move over here and I'm gonna do my fact family. So the top of my fact family house is my multiplication facts. So it's 3 times 4. Well, we started with 4 times 3, but it doesn't matter. You could do 4 times 3 first, 3 times 4 first. It's all good. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, now I'm going to move on to my division facts. Now, when I was younger, division scared me a little bit, but now that I've been doing it for a while, I'm telling you there's nothing to be scared of. It's exactly the same as multiplication, just your numbers are in a different order. It's thinking of it, it's kind of like how addition and subtraction, oh, sorry, I'm writing the fact from above. I'm going to talk and finish talking before I try to do my work. Otherwise, I'm going to confuse you guys. So addition and subtraction are kind of the same but opposite, right? Multiplication and division are the same as that. Multiplication is like repeated addition. Subtraction is kind of like division is like repeated subtraction. Okay, one thing at a time, Mrs. Oakes. Let's focus back in on the work. So for my division fact, I start with the product of multiplication, my biggest number, so that's 12. I'm going to divide it by 4, and I would get 3. Then I take 12, divide it by 3, and I'm going to get 4. All right, my final part of my fact family are those repeated addition sentences. Okay, I could even add a repeated subtraction if I wanted. I'll show you how. I'm going to do one repeated addition, one repeated subtraction. So for repeated addition, I'm going to do 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. For repeated subtraction, I'm going to start with 12. And I'm going to take away 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4, 3 groups of 4, and then I have 0. So that's another way you could try if you want to challenge. That's something that grade 4s do, is repeated subtraction. But I will encourage you to try it if you think, ooh, I'd like a challenge. I want to do some grade 4 work. So grade 4s do repeated subtraction and repeated addition. Grade 2s and 3s, repeated addition. And my grade 2s, you guys are doing a stretch with your multiplication because I know you can do it. It's not in the grade 2 curriculum, but it is so related to what we're doing, and it's such a thing that you can handle. The earlier you start it, the easier things will be in older grades, okay? The more you practice it. Anyway, that is your math for today. You are gonna go through now and do the same. You're gonna make an array for 5 times 6, facts for 5 times 6, an array for 2 times 10, facts for 2 times 10, an array for 5 times 5, facts for 5 times 5, an array for 4 times 6, and facts for 4 times 6. So that is the rest of your assignment for today. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Awesome, you did it. You're done. Thank you so much for continuing to check in and continuing to do your work. It means a lot to me that you're still showing up. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you back here for more math on Friday.